Show you that we're dealing with another big batch of some pretty heavy precipitation. In fact, this is just now coming in from the National Weather Service here. We're watching this area here now. It's showing up as white, which would obviously indicate some snow, but this is actually all falling as ice, some sleet. In fact, it's sleeting very heavily right now in the city of Brenham. So if you're headed out 290, obviously seeing lots and lots of problems. I put a tracker on this. If you're watching out from Navasota, Hempstead, even down towards Katy, out towards the northern belt, getting up the North Freeway to Conroe and to Huntsville, this will include Spring as well. Hempstead, the heavy sleet will be in your area right around 11:02, Katy at 11:40, Magnolia at 11:53, and Conroe at 12:39. Now, keep in mind the temperatures continue to drop. We are now down to 24 degrees in Conroe with heavy precipitation pushing in your general direction. So, Darby, at least right now, it appears the Grand Parkway, again, from I-10 all the way around to 59, according to Jeff Lindner, is all the bridges have ice on them. In fact, we're now starting to see some ice accretion on side streets up there in northwestern Harris County out towards Cypress. So everything that has already fallen, not only is it going to stay there, but we're about to add to that, and we're about to add quite a bit. So that's why they have extended that winter storm warning all the way down to the immediate coast. So the GOES satellite radar, obviously not a whole lot going on with it yet because we need the light to see that particular satellite. But here's a look at the winter radar once again. You can see that heavy precipitation moving in through Washington County as we speak, getting ready to push into Navasota. So those of you watching, say, out towards the northwestern portions of Harris County, whether you're Jersey Village out towards Hockley, perhaps into the Tomball area as well, the Woodlands, Spring, Conroe, getting up towards Willis, New Waverly, and Huntsville, all of this heavy precipitation, not only is it reaching the ground, but it's falling very, very heavy. And this is where we're going to see big time problems. So not only do we have 45 closed now up towards Conroe, but we could see those closures extend into the city of Houston, especially as all of this continues to push in our general direction. Let's take a look here along the immediate coast, getting a lot of questions regarding what's going on down towards Freeport, Galveston, and the Bolivar Peninsula. Still an all liquid situation for now, but I do anticipate those temperatures will continue to take a tumble throughout the day. In fact, we're already seeing below freezing temperatures almost down to the immediate coast. So not only are we getting a lot of questions about the roads, but is it going to snow? Well, you know, there's a possibility, maybe a dusting once we get north of Conroe, but really this is going to be an all ice event here in the city of Houston. We may see it briefly switch over to a little snow before it all comes to an end, but it won't be enough to make a snowman, unfortunately. Here's what I was talking about, Darby, as far as temperatures go. Check this out. 24 right now in Conroe. That's down 2 degrees just in the last hour. It is now 26 in the Woodlands, 29 in Spring, 28 in Houston. Obviously, anything that falls will freeze very, very rapidly, especially when you have temperatures flirting with the upper teens out towards Austin County, where it is currently 23 degrees in Belleville. And you'd say, okay, well, how do we know it's going to get colder? Because as we look to our north, temperatures are in the teens, and we have that northerly wind bringing in all the cold air from the north, and that's when we're going to continue to see these temperatures take a tumble. So again, 24 in Huntsville, 24 Conroe, 28 in Houston, 29 now at Hobby Airport, 30 degrees down there in Pearland. So pretty much everywhere on the mainland is at or below freezing, and once you get north of I-10, boy, things really get nasty pretty quick. There you go. It's 19 right now at Texarkana, 19 in Tyler, 23 in Lufkin. So you see these northerly winds coming in. It's transporting all that dense Arctic air right out of Canada. And as I've said before, there's not a whole lot between Texas and Canada, but a few barbed wire fences, and there's not a whole lot to slow this Arctic air down as it makes its way down along the lee of the Rockies and right down into our backyard. So what we see up to the north is going to be transported to the south. In fact, overnight lows tonight will be dangerously cold. So not only are we looking at ice and snow, but we're also talking about the possibility of pipe bursting conditions once again. So Sherman and Reka, I guess we're going to toss it back over to you. But again, we have a long ways to go. The radar is very active, and we're looking for winter storm conditions to continue over the next couple of hours.
Yeah, so heed that warning again. Stay off the roadways. A lot of ice out there. I think that Harris County Sheriff's Office has determined that there were 50 bridges, you know, the larger and both secondary bridges that have ice on them. It looks like most people are staying off the road, but Metro buses are still running as well, although there is low ridership. That is a good thing on a day like this. So there still are ways to get around, but they're just asking people with schools closed and a lot of offices closed today, just stay at home. HISD, we had also talked about earlier with the schools closing, that they are going to assess and determine whether or not they're going to open schools tomorrow by about 6 p.m. this evening. So of course they, like all of us, are monitoring just how bad it's going to get as the day goes on.
Yeah, kids getting an extra day off today.
I know,
We
4-day weekend.
Yeah, what happens tomorrow. Darby had been showing us some of these trouble spots around on the map, including the Grand Parkway over there by, I guess, 290 in the Grand Parkway. I think our Michelle Choi is there now, and she's going to show us what that looks like live on the ground and the conditions there. Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, hey guys, we actually passed Grand Parkway a little while ago. We are now headed east on 290, and I just want to show you what we're looking at on the roadways right now. It almost looks like a gigantic ice skating rink on a highway. Good news is, yes, the conditions are definitely icy right now. All that white stuff, the powder that you're seeing is ice. But whenever we brake, we are still getting some traction on our tires, but we're taking it really easy on the roadways because, like I said, it's slick conditions. There is definitely ice on the roads, on the overpasses. As you can see, this car right here to our right has their emergency lights on, like so many cars, going very, very slow. Lots of people taking that advice of staying off the roads if possible today. You don't see that many cars right now. Again, we are headed east on 290, going back into town. And guys, I've been out here all morning long in the northwest part of Harris County, and I gotta tell you, in the last few hours, we've seen drastic changes from lots of rain this morning to precipitation on the ground, and now we're seeing the results of what the freezing temperatures can do to the roadways. It is about 23 degrees out here. We are in our weather tracker tracking the roads. We've seen multiple accidents back to back. Lots of cars spinning out on the roadways. In fact, we talked to one lady who was a TxDOT worker, and she was headed into work, headed westbound on 290, the opposite direction, and she hit a Harris County deputy's car after she lost control of her unit. So again, if you don't need to be out here, it's best to stay home if possible. But if you do have to be out for some reason, take it slow, take it easy. You see this 18-wheeler here passing by, not going very fast. We've seen some of these big cars on overpasses, which not too many have been closed yet around 290. We spoke with a couple of deputies with the Harris County Sheriff's Office maybe 30 minutes ago, and they were telling us a couple of problem spots, but overpasses and bridges still not closed yet, but definitely iced over. So they have been responding to more than a dozen accidents already, and it's about 11 o'clock this morning, and temperatures are way below freezing. This is going to continue, so just be careful when you hit the roads if you have to. Again, all that white powdery stuff you're seeing is ice, you guys. It went from water to ice, and this isn't melting anytime soon. Visibility is also very low, so again, if you have no reason to be out and about, I would suggest you stay home, stay safe. The mayor held a press conference earlier, if you watched, and he was pleading for people to stay home if possible. And being on the roads, I gotta tell you, it's definitely an advice you want to take because the roads are very, very slippery, icy, and it's gonna stay that way for the next day or so. And guys, we're gonna actually toss it back over to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And she is showing us the conditions that we've heard about on the northern part of the county with the bridges iced over. Closer into town, the city saying that they got reports of 2 icy spots. That is going to be on the northeast side. They are checking it out at Homestead and Tidwell and Kelly and Lockwood. So that much closer into town. And if you see icy road conditions, of course, call 311 to report. Kind of the other big important information is there are 2 warming stations that will be opening very soon. If you need to stay warm, if you don't have a place to stay, some of the homeless folks may be interested as well, but if you need a warming station, those will be available at South Main Baptist Church at 4101 South Main, Pleasant Grove Church at 2801 Conti Street. So those two locations open in about an hour.
That is good news. And also, as we keep saying, you stay off the roadways, but a lot of people are telling people to stay inside. Of course, the kids get a little excited. You're seeing that ice stick to the roadways. You want to get out and you want to touch it, but people slip and fall in these conditions, and so really it's best to just stay inside. Also, a reminder about your pets. A lot of people bring their pets into the garage, but your garage can get pretty cold too. So bring them inside the house. Everyone just hang out inside and sit tight because it doesn't sound like this is going to melt anytime soon.